Hey guys, before we get too far into today's video, I just wanted to start out by giving a big thank you to Jason from Country Boy Gas Garage. Uh, I know a bunch of you just subscribed and came from his channel, and it was really nice of him, really kind words, and I really appreciate it, Jason. And on that note, I also want to thank all our new subscribers. We picked up over 70 subscribers this month. That's awesome. That's never happened on this channel before. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate you guys. If you're not subscribed, if you could hit that button, I appreciate it. We're over 700 now, 300 to go till we hit that big 1,000. But I just really appreciate the support, guys, and I'm hoping you guys are enjoying this content. I take that subscription and thumbs up down below in the comments as a sign that you guys are enjoying what I'm doing here. And it does take a lot of time and effort. You know, it's a lot easier working on cars when you're not filming and editing and trying to make sure all your shots are right and everything. There are days where I wish I could just work and crank through this thing and get it on the road. But anyway, I appreciate you, and I hope this is entertaining and or helpful for some of you, whether it be motivational or informative. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. So in today's video, also up in Tacoma, one of you guys, is it Ken, I think, Tacoma. I'm hoping I'm not butchering that. I think it's Ken or Kent. Either way, I want to give a big thank you to him. He's my first buy me a cup of coffee guy. I need to explain that real quick because one of my friends had to ask me 6 times what that even means. And so obviously I didn't do a very good job of explaining what that means. Buy me a coffee. The link's in the description. You're not really buying me a coffee. So the idea is they call it buy me a cup of coffee because it's $5. And if you go to these ridiculous coffee stands these days, that's what a cup of coffee costs, I guess, $5. I can still get a cup for $1.50 down at Dairy Mart, but whatever. But the idea is it's just another name for donating $5 or more to the channel. I don't really want to ask for that. You know, I am including it in the description. I'm not really going to do member only content. That's something YouTube allows me to do, is do members only live streams, videos and stuff like that, exclusive content, and you can pay me money to do it. I don't want to do that. My content's going to be free and available for all of you. But if you got a few extra bucks and you like what I'm doing and you want to donate to the parts, you know, I just had to order a fuel pump push rod for this motor. Is $28, you know, and that happens all the time. I had to get the cup for the wishbone mount for this rear bone setup we're doing. That was another $35. You know, you got to get motor mounts. That was another $35. And before you know, bushings for the rear springs, and it all adds up. And a lot of you guys, you build cars, you know, and we all just have to find time and ways to earn that money and apply it. But sometimes, as I'm sure some of you know, it does take a little while to add to that car fund. Especially for me, you know, I do metal fabrication on the side here, but I'm mostly a stay-at-home parent. So it does take a little while for me, and I do try to keep content regular. But sometimes this falls behind a little bit because I don't have the funds to buy the next part I need for it to keep it moving. But like I said, if you guys are digging what I'm building, you want to got extra $5, you want to buy me a cup of coffee, you're really doing is donating to the parts fund for this thing. And I really appreciate it. That being said, you don't have to. It's okay. I don't like asking for free stuff. And you know, Jason told me that he's had people really get passionate about his builds, like the bus and chip in, and that was a huge help for him. He's often in a similar financial situation to me. So I figured, what the heck, I'll put it up there, just an option. But don't worry about it. If you guys don't want to, it's not a big deal. In today's video, we're going to tackle this K-member, just get it wrapped up. I wanted to do that before attaching the cup for the wishbones and finishing up the rear bones. I know I said I was going to do the rear bones next video, but in my mind, it makes a lot more sense to finish up the K member here, get it really beefed up before adding that. I just don't want too much stuff hanging off of it, you know, that I have to come back and then weaken it by taking stuff apart. Make a new top plate for the K member, finish off these rear legs, do all our finish welding, grinding, slap some paint on it. And then I think at the end of the video, we're going to get our drums turned. I got a mentor who lets me use his drum lathe sometimes. And so I'm going to turn my drums for this thing. Now I'm just turning the fronts. The rears are in really great shape. This 37 rear end came off a running driving truck. So I pulled the drums off the rear. They look great. The fronts needed turning. We'll get that done. And also I think turn out, I have some 46 drums for the Model A Roadster that's going to come down the road. So I think while I'm there, I'm just going to turn those real quick too. But let's get into it, and I hope you guys enjoy. Subscribe, thumbs up. Thank you all again. Okay, first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to get my measurements for where I want the leg to go. That's what we're laying out here, is the leg for the K member. I'm going to have it fit inside the frame rail and then go out past that last circle that's cut off because the leg's now shorter. I'm also going to leave room for it to fold under so that we can have it be a little stronger and have it be more like a C-channel when it's done. So you can see that I've got my bend line for the folded under part, and then the upper part's the leg. Let's go ahead and get that cut out here. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip that piece over to get the reverse of it, and I'm going to mark that out so we have a perfect copy for the other side. There's the outline here laid out real quick. This little corner notch is for the part that fits inside the frame rail. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and lay out where I want my holes. We're going to use our Vevor 10-ton knockout kit to punch some holes in this thing. This is 10 gauge, no, this is 12 gauge steel. 10 gauge for the boxing plates and the top plate, 12 gauge for the legs. But yeah, the Vevor 10-ton knockout tool is rated for all the way up to 10 gauge. So I laid out my holes, and now I drilled my my pilot holes and cut my pinky. But I have an awesome Band-Aid in my shop. It's called electrical tape. Works great. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and start punching out our knockouts as soon as we get these pilots drilled. I don't know if you guys can tell, but what I've basically been doing here is I've been knocking out the smaller size so I don't have to drill as big of a hole. So basically use the knockout tool to fit the larger shaft for the bigger knockout punches so that we don't have to get some monstrous bit to drill that big hole out. Because I think it's I'm not sure, it's 7/8. It's up there. But now the bigger one fits and we can do our bigger knockouts. Now we're going to go ahead and do our bend. Just clamped it into the little bench anvil there to hold it still while we get that bent over, and then use the vise to kind of clean it up. Okay, that leg turned out pretty good. Now let's get started on the top plate. I'll do the other leg off camera after the video. So the top plate, we got our layout. I wanted something a little wider, but I wanted to still have kind of a cool look, you know, have it not just be a square plate sitting up there. Use 10 gauge for this, and just working and cutting those corners with the cutoff wheel. I guess I could use my torch, but I don't like cleaning up all the I forget what we call it, slag stuff, you know, after you use a torch. So cutoff wheel worked just fine. It takes a little longer. I decided to do 2 knockouts in the top plate. No particular reason why. I just wanted to make it a little lighter and wanted to make it look aesthetically pleasing, kind of match the legs. Doing a larger one and a smaller one for this. Just thought it would look good. And top plate turned out pretty good. Looks good. I really dig the way it's gonna beef that up. It's gonna give it a little more surface area, but also aesthetically just looks a lot better too. But clean up a lot of the sins of us having to modify that down from that Lincoln X member that it started as and making it the K member. If you haven't watched that video, there's a lot of content on this car in previous videos that I've uploaded. Now that the top plate's in, we're going to go ahead and clean up the bottom and get ready to mount our ball for the front Model A wishbone axle yoke that we're adding to our rear bones. This is going to include part 2 of that. So basically what we're doing is figure out where our holes are going to go. There are going to be bolts that run from the top, not the top plate, but the top side of the bottom plate through to the bottom, and then we're going to use a spacer to lower the ball, give us more clearance for oscillation, and yeah, should be plenty. So it's going to lower it down about a 1/2 inch once I get it all dialed in here and make sure everything fits. That little plate you see me sticking on right there. What I'm realizing now and looking at is the angle. I'm trying to figure out how far out I need to heat and bend the yoke to have it point at the brakes where it's supposed to be instead of being pointed in just a little bit, because it obviously was designed for front wishbone, not rear bones. So just figuring that out, cutting the bones shorter, getting it ready. I lined up the seams there so I could see where the bones needed to be. Well, and the wishbone yoke is clamped into the cup right now, so that kind of positions everything a little bit. Now we're going to go ahead and heat and bend the yoke. So we're going to use our oxyacetylene torch and our rosebud tip and just fire that puppy up, get it red, and get it close. It's not got to be perfect because we're going to bend it again later, but we're going to get it close for right now. As you can see here, it really doesn't need a whole lot. It does need a little more bending, but that's really close to where it needs to be. So you're not doing any major changes. So don't take it too far. So what I'm doing now is I'm bolting on the rear wishbone we've created, and I'm going to use longer bolts than the actual hardware for mounting it up. And that way what you can do is you can kind of get it threaded on in the beginning, and you can heat that yoke back up and then cinch those bolts down. That'll pull it into position, and you can let it cool where it's supposed to be, and that'll make you the final bends how it needs to be. So I'm going to get this backing plate pulled off and get started on that. Now I'm going ahead and installing one of my rear juice backing plates. I did not get it cleaned up or rebuilt yet, but I can do that. I mean, it's wire wheeled. I can get a little paint on it and get it rebuilt in position, but I wanted to get it on so I could get kind of everything in position here, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. But you can see my ball is right below the cup. It's exactly where it's supposed to be. So we're in good shape there. I shot this video a little bit earlier. That's why everything's a little in different position, but pulling the rear drums, and I'm going to take them in and turn them on the lathe. So all right, guys, I'm pretty much going to wrap up this video there. So in this one, we did get the front Model A wishbone yoke attached to our rear bones. We got our cup set. Probably between videos, I'm going to weld that base that the cup goes through onto the bottom plate. I'll finish getting the juice backing plates on. I got one on here. I'll rebuild them. I'll paint them. Wire wheel the rear axle, paint that probably between videos. And yeah, you can see though, you know, it's not that crazy hard, and just kind of take your time, be methodical. I'll get my welds, you know, weld the yoke on, get it all finalized. But it's lined up. It's perfect. You know, it's going to be great. So probably by the time I see you guys next on the Roadster, we'll have the rear wheels back on, have the drums back on, everything will be painted up back here, and we will be on to boxing the frame. But that's it for this one. Next video is going to be on the Junction City Show and Shine, the car show. It's a really good local car show, and it's on Saturday, tomorrow. So I don't know when I'm going to upload this, probably tonight. So I'll be shooting it tomorrow and uploading it in the next couple of days. Probably get a little bonus video in, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Like, share, and subscribe. Later.